DC.
I'm very excited about DC.
We're doing things together. We are a group. We need to feed the amoeba. We don't feed individuals.
I'm really excited.
I'm feeling awesome sauce.
We're going to DC. We're gonna interview some people. I hear the second touchdown.
We just got to DC last night and we're staying here at Friend's Place, which is a Quaker-owned hostel. It's awesome. It's like 4 floors high and we have lots of space.
It feels great to be in a new environment. I would never wear this, but I am. And I'm enjoying it, honestly. And it's beautiful here and it's good weather, having a great time with my friends. And I've pet 7 dogs.
Me coming here, it allowed me to see a part of myself that I normally get to see.
It's super pretty and we're like right on Capitol Hill, so last night we walked all around and saw all the famous buildings. We saw the Capitol. It's just so pretty and there's still flowers everywhere. I'm obsessed.
Of the questions for everybody, and then we're going to assign them. These people are giving us a gift of their time. Time is the only non-renewable resource that we have. Anything we choose to do with our time is sacred.
Start this off by just thanking you guys for taking your time to meet with us, the Mount Madonna School Juniors. And as a part of our 2 years school values in World Thought program, we engage in conversations with thought leaders. We're super excited to speak with you today.
For those of you watching at home, today we interviewed Linda Ryden and Ashley. We started the entire interview with a meditation to ground us all. I think there was a lot of nerves, this being our first real interview in DC.
Just get into our mindful bodies, whatever that feels like for you is fine. And let's just take a few deep breaths together.
Meditation, it basically brings you into the moment.
People tend to just be in their heads. Instead of thinking about everything that could be going on around you or everything that has gone on around you, just kind of be in the moment and not really think about anything at all.
Made me feel more present to what we were doing and connect to everything she was saying about mindfulness because we were actually incorporating the thing that we were talking about.
Hi, my name is Lennon. In your experience, what do you think is the most important lesson children should learn at a young age, both academically and personally?
There's so much pressure put on children by people who want test scores to look a certain way. And students, kids, they feel this pressure to get it right. But I think unless you're harming someone else or yourself, there's no really getting it wrong. It's just a journey to learn and grow.
This is a very giving group of individuals. That idea of not causing harm in the world and actually committing yourself to doing something larger. So I think this group is really embodying that, and I'm excited.
We're bringing too much academic thought into young kids who don't even know who they are yet, know anything really about the world. I feel like it just turns them into zombies. It makes them not really think about morality or how to put others above yourself.
When you see somebody, what do you think you know about that person based on what you're looking at? Questioning those thoughts. Where did I get this idea? Why do I think I know this about this person? Is my family's thoughts? Is this my culture's thoughts? How do I feel about these thoughts? Like, are these my actual beliefs? And just investigating those.
And what you believed in then doesn't make you then a bad person. It just makes you like ill-informed.
Personally, I find it much easier to be kind to others than to myself. I struggle to give myself the same grace and time to make mistakes. What advice do you have for those of us who find it difficult to manage feelings of guilt or not being perfect, especially when we know that some things are simply out of our control? And her response was just this fantastic meditation called Just Like Me.
Just choose somebody in the room that you don't know as well. And I'm going to say some words out loud, and if you want to, you can repeat those words in your mind. This person wants to be happy, just like me. This person feels sad sometimes, just like me. This person makes mistakes sometimes, just like me. This person is doing their best, just like me. This person deserves kindness, just like me. This person belongs here, just like me. Just take a moment to notice how those phrases landed for you. Let's take one more deep breath. Breathe in and out. And look at your eyes.
Think about someone else, and by thinking about them compassionately, like how much that actually gives you for yourself. So that was amazing. Crazy first interview, first day, first everything, and to be struck with something so personally revolutionary. It's amazing.
Think of them as a person, just like ourselves. It's like we all make mistakes. We all don't always act how we feel like we should have. It doesn't always feel like we are being who we truly are on the inside. Realizing that about other people, just because of how they act around other people, doesn't mean that is who they are on the inside.
Our superpowers very much are our own experiences and stories. It's that unique footprint that we bring to the table. The value is the fact that we are who we are, and we have the experiences that we have.
A common theme that I noticed throughout the interviews that we had, that you're really supposed to be your individual person.
I really urge students in particular, as the historical sort of backbone of social change movements, to not take this moment as a reason to stop engaging with those processes, but rather as a sort of a proof of concept that student voices are so important.
Mwandei was so well spoken. One thing that I noticed, at least Ray and Charlotte and Mwandei, patriotic means questioning the standards and fighting for what we think is right. And you can still have that like America deep in your lungs. You have to be like, love you America, but right now you're a hot mess. Every hour throughout all of the time America has been alive, people have been questioning.
If you see that something's wrong, we have a responsibility as citizens, as constituents, as people of conscience to find ways to rectify that issue.
Mwandei and Charlotte both had this theme of let's have compassion, let's go slow. Not everything is just gonna happen. Tomorrow it's not like everything is gonna be fixed. It takes time. So you just have to have compassion and patience. And sometimes that's hard because you're tired, but just go to sleep and like journal and be like, okay.
When you spoke about how long activism actually takes was really refreshing.
It may feel like a lot, but like if we're all like, and like nothing happens, then that sucks. So we have to be like, and then you'll like slowly see rather than just being like.
I needed a positive person with good vibes to make me feel confident in myself again and my ability to interview people. And Reginald, he listened to my question, he gave an extremely wise answer, and he made me feel comfortable.
Deep inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth.
Reggie, we just shared meditation. I don't meditate or do anything like that. Oh, this is interesting.
Teaching people the difference between what deserves your awareness and deserves your attention helps you harness and harvest your most precious resource.
We interviewed Reginald Hubbard about advice for dealing with hardships in life. He had a stroke and it took him a very long time to be able to walk. He was stuck in a wheelchair.
I liked his message, but I also liked him as a person.
Has gotten wisdom through his stroke that he would have not gotten without having a stroke and having the hardships that he's had.
Dealing with the hard stuff gives you a radical choice. And in those radical choices, healing happens.
There is light and dark, and both of them have their place.
You have to go through healing. You can't just go past it. You have to go through it to really heal. You learn how to overcome it. He gave a little analogy. If you go past the storm, you don't get to see the beautiful rainbow after the storm.
And ultimately, the goal of life is to be of service to other people.
The message that has really resonated for everyone is the idea of service, of being committed to something larger than yourself.
And you feel as though nothing's going right, listen to the birds sing.
Look at what's terrible and then find what's not so terrible, what's good and the bad.
There's great moments in every day, no matter how bad, and there's bad moments in every day, no matter how good. It's a mindset thing. It's all mental.
Y'all think that heartbreak's the end of the story. For me, it's always been the beginning.
Heartbreak isn't the end of a story, it's just the beginning. So I thought of it as an end of a story of just like part of my life, but I hadn't thought about it being a introduction, a beginning to a new one.
You know that you're not alone. Like, hey, I don't have to put up these perfect appearances. I'm actually kind of awful right now. You get me and you care. There's magic there. That magic is something that transcends age. It transcends race, it transcends all of those things.
I try and hide the darker part of me, more morose side of me, for the world and people, and always put on this, happy face. At the end of the day, that's like putting on a mask, hiding who I am, having to hide these things, not let people know. I really don't like it, and I miss out on advice and just friendship and niceness.
You grow by adversity, by challenge. I think you have to suffer to be happy, because it's those low moments that allow you to reflect on yourself and allow you to become a better human being.
Everything that you go through in life is to teach you a lesson in how to navigate life with more grace, compassion, skill, and love.
Your heartbreak is welcome here.
It really resonated with everybody, especially in our class. I know for a fact had hardships and has had to bottle them down and throw them and shove them away. I think he was the right person to talk to.
We went to the Pentagon, guided by Officer Jackson. It was a really, really cool experience. I really loved it. This dog comes by, and his name is Charlie, and he had this like little stuffed lamb, and he was carrying it around. It was so cute. His whole entire job was just to raise morale in the troops. And honestly, I want that job. That's just like a really cool job to have. Officer Jackson had us in a circle in the waiting room and asked like, oh, what do you all know about the Pentagon? And all I could say was the government.
People that are here are on official business.
Officer Jackson, our guide around the Pentagon, and his platoon were on duty for the cleanup of the aftermath of 9/11 at the Pentagon.
We got to interview Officer Jackson's boss. That would have been my favorite interview.
We're kind of waiting in this conference room, and I'm expecting like this really mean, tough guy. He's like the chief of staff. This guy walks in, and it's just like the whole room kind of just lights up. Like he has this enthusiasm about him that's like he loves his job. We have this saying where it's called flip the turtle in interviews, and it kind of felt like the whole like mood just shifted in the room. Then he gave us his story of how he got here. And that's what like really moved me. When he was 17, he got arrested. He called himself the troubled teen. And the judge gave him an option. You either go to jail or you go to the military. And he chose the military. It reminded me of the story in Ray Suarez's book of Samir. He got wealthy, he got poor, and then he got wealthy again. And it was the same story with Corey. He was a troubled teen, and then he went to the military, and now he's chief of staff and in this really great job, and he loves it. It shows me like you don't have to start off on the right foot right away, and you can figure it out as you go, and you'll still be okay and be successful and have like a life that you like.
The most common theme, I'd say, is just the theme of service and sacrifice. Although these people may have joined the military for different reasons, they're still trying to do the same thing. They're serving our country.
Going to the Pentagon when I'm 17. Who does that? Thank you, Officer Jackson. You just opened up a whole new world to me. I'm not afraid to go after what I want anymore and try to fit in the lens of someone else's expectation. I'm very happy for this experience.
This delegation of very important looking people. I said it has to be.
Of course.
Right there.
Yes.
The shine is like a little halo.
See, I tell them it pays off to dress nice while they're here.
How language can be used to obscure or highlight issues. How have you seen this show up in times of criticism?
Being very careful with this extraordinary power that we've given as humans. And I believe the most important form of communication is to listen twice as much than to speak. But language also can be used to inflict great harm. That harm can be breaking your own self-worth, breaking your integrity.
You fall coming back up and not giving up, because there's so much you can do if you don't give up. You just don't know.
It isn't just about you, because you're tethered to a bunch of people that care and love you. So what you do impacts them, what they do impacts you. And so you realize, I'm not in this alone.
This morning we spoke with Ray Suarez, who has been a journalist and reporter for about 50 years.
Song of the Nation from NPR News. It only works if both sides are both playing by the rules. Once you have one party that says, I'm going to roll the dice, ignore the law, and just see if they've got the guts to come in. And that's where we are right now.
The rules of our government, of a democracy, are only rules if both sides are following them.
Fully didn't understand it before now, and him talking about it really showed me how it works, and I'm honestly disappointed.
The question is, what strategies have we found to be the most effective for getting interviewees to open up and connect to questions on a personal level?
Good question. Go into an interview with an assumption that there are things you don't know. You're not just interviewing this person to get them to say some things. You're interviewing them because you really don't know exactly what they're going to say.
The biggest thing that Values helped me on is world outlook, and also how to talk to other people better. You know, I have an entire rap sheet of questions.
You can't hector somebody who's trying to be evasive into telling you the truth. Resist the temptation to butt in, because sometimes they are talking themselves into existence.
Because people love to talk about themselves and slowly kind of narrow in on the questions that you really want to ask. Just again with the misinformation, he really emphasized how so many people will just lie in interviews. Do your research, hold them to what they say. It's a lot harder for them to lie and to evade questions. Definitely knowing a lot about the person you're talking to and how to get them to open up.
You know, I come from a family who is low income, a family of generational trauma, a family who is impacted by poverty, a family who has been incarcerated, a family who has been abused by many systems. And I hear that the George Floyd was murdered, I started to put connections together. When that happened, we started the coalition, and that's when I would say that my activism took off. And it was also the year that I came out as queer as well, because of that reflection that I had.
Being yourself unapologetically, and if people don't accept you, then they just don't need to be a part of your life. You don't need to shift to fit their needs.
The goal of our values class this year is to begin to discover what our core values are as humans. If you could speak a little bit about values.
We can't really be as productive and well-meaning and well-rounded citizens as we'd like to be without a good, strong community around us. Part of that is this idea that our fates are all bound together. And no matter what we do, we either sink or swim with each other. America culturally is known around the world for rugged individualism, but the most important thing is that we're all supporting each other as we move forward. We also find that as individuals, we hold each other accountable in a good faith system.
And in DC, it's a lot about connection. It's more about connection than any other place I've ever known.
You know, our integrity gets stronger, our growth is more substantial by surrounding ourselves with people who may not always agree with us. And in fact, I think it's good when we disagree with each other respectfully.
Paying attention to who you're surrounding yourself with, it is really possible to be able to achieve a lot.
Build bridges with people who are uncomfortable with LGBTQ folks. Don't judge them. You know, don't try to shout them down. Don't try to quote unquote cancel them for making a mistake. Have the courage to sit down with them and try to get to the root of their discomfort, because that's how you change things.
One of the best things that Charlotte said is just to have compassion for other people. She talked a lot about how cancel culture is like really aggressive, and that what's really important is intent.
Make a mistake in bad faith, you're trying to harm others. You're trying to weaponize fear and power. When you make a mistake in good faith, you're making an error unintentionally. It's an accident. We should invite people to make mistakes in good faith and respond to that with grace and love.
I fell in love with the idea of community and how everything seems so far apart, but it's all so connected. You can find help in the community and you're not all alone. And I think that really hit me. And also the act of service to your community, to your country, to anyone. To serve someone else greater than yourself is an act that really inspired me.
I always thought of DC as like the place where all these greedy masters were like, plotting on everybody's downfall. But coming here, I kind of realized there's so many people who are very selfless, doing this for the community and for America. You in this house, not paying for food, I'm very hungry.
It's inspiring to see people that are doing good things and are so dedicated to doing those good things. It's just given me a lot of hope for this country and the future of my life.
There always emerges to be a lesson or a theme that is sort of what is needed in that moment.
Everybody I've talked to has a theme, or at least a part of their values in life are about helping to serve others and doing things for the community rather than themselves most of the time.
Do selfless service in the world, which is a foundation of our school. Another foundation of our school in yogic philosophy, it's called ahimsa. It's nonviolence. So I always talk to them about nonviolence isn't just the body. It's thought, it's action, it's speech, and it's the physical body.
Something I definitely will be taking back with me is just the experiences that I had while I was here.
I've learned what I need to improve about myself in order to be, a better human to being others, a better human being to myself, and a better human being to those that I might meet in the future.
I'm just grateful to be able to experience all of these different connections with other people with my class. I'm just going to remember both the beauty of DC, but also the beauty from the people that I've met in DC.
Talking to all of these people and independently hearing them talk about the power of connections and relationships really means something to me.
This has just been eye-opening in so many ways, knowing how many things are possible. So gaining some perspective like that helped me look at the world outside of myself and think more about service.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity that Mount Madonna has given us.
On these learning journeys, make sure that you experience everything.